What is up, my dogs? It's your boy, Mike Mason. Yo, we're here for an awesome show. I mean, just editing this thing, I was just so stoked. I'm fucking thrilled. Like, if you can't hear it in my voice. Man, we got some special homies with me tonight, and I mean, if you didn't look at the title of the video you're watching, like it's just playing in the middle of the night as you're asleep or whatever, we're about to watch Eusheen, who participated in a completely insane competition that Champs put together for their Chicago Glass Games. An absolutely epic trade show, but the games here were like fucking ridiculous with the team from Everdream, which was Eusheen, N8, and WJC competing against Team Molten Aura, or not Molten Aura, I'm sorry, Molten Art Classic, with Hoobs, with Carsten, and
Josh Oppendecker.
yeah, JOP is what I was trying to remember. Yeah, Josh, man, all incredibly nice people, and man, what an epic time we had. But tonight, I wanted to focus on something that was just was blowing my fucking head. I know some of you guys watched it live when we were there, and Carrie was streaming for like 14 hours a day. Um, but Yusheen essentially encapsulated these faceted marbles, and shared this technique to keep it hollow and then use them as like parts of this piece that's absolutely incredible. And then we're going to see how he sealed them to the piece and then how he did like a return drain kind of between them. This is all such dank stuff. I'm just thrilled to be here to share this and to have been part of this thing. Let me introduce the homies who are with me tonight. Before I get carried away rambling about this for another 20 minutes, we have a dope crew. You guys know my lovely co-host, Carrie Strope. Carrie, tell them what's going on with you lately.
Just been getting caught up for the summer. Lots of travel in the spring, starting with the Glasscraft and Bead Expo, then back and away and back again. So just getting back to classes and making pieces, and yeah, being at
All
home
right.
in the sweltering heat.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was there with you for some of that sweltering heat. It was a
Yep.
good day to be indoors. All right, awesome. Yeah, we've had some amazing travels and we've rambled about it, but yeah, good. All right, cool. So I already knew all that, but the audience didn't. So
Right.
yeah. All right, and then we do have a very special guest with us, Champs, big man in the house, Kevin Dankman.
What,
Um,
what?
yeah, this is one of the people who I have so much appreciation for. They help put on these incredible events that I get to stroll into after most of the hard work has been done, and then I work my ass off. But like, they put in so much more to set the scene that I get to come in and I just feel like I have this gilded path because you guys have put in so much work, and it's an honor to have you with us, man. What's going on with you
Yeah.
lately, dog?
You know, Champs keeps me really busy, obviously. The world is active out there with the glass scene, vape scene, all of it's really busy. Keeps me busy. I manage our magazine and I do a lot of the behind the scenes, like you said, but it does take an entire team. Hugh's out there, Victoria on the glass side, and
Yep.
then there's 20 people that work on the other side. So they're all staying busy right now because you know, over COVID, it gave us time to assess, look at what we wanted to do for future.
Sure.
And the future's it's bright. We've got a lot of good ideas. With Hugh taking the reins at the glass games and his thoughts and things have come out, and him and I really have put together some really good ideas and some things to you know really celebrate what glass blowing is and what we've all done in it, because some of us been here a long time, some of y'all new, but we as champs like to keep everyone involved. The older guys say to me when I talk to them, man, it's so great you get all these young guys in coming up, and the young guys are like, man, it's so amazing I get to compete against all these amazing dudes, and that gets us excited. But one thing it doesn't do, it doesn't create as much community. It creates a lot of competition. And
Sure.
that's one thing we looked at. And this year, we're glad to say we're going to fix that. We've decided that in Daytona Beach, Florida, which is actually where I live, we're going to do something special. We're going to do a charity event that includes things like Blow with a Pro, where you can select a 3-hour slot and pay the charity fee, and you get to blow with one of the guys on that's a
What?
pro. It could be one of your
Hang on.
heroes. You know, you could force a collab with someone you never collabed with. You know, all for charity. You know, because all the money you pay for that, we're going to put to charity.
All right. And this is on the beach in Daytona, is that right?
Yeah, man, you can. It's directly across the street. The hotel will be on the beach, and we have a 40,000 square foot arena all for us. We're gonna have
Wow.
we're bringing all the equipment you normally see in Vegas. We're bringing all of that to Florida for the first time ever. We're gonna get more glass blowers in Florida than we've ever seen before for a champs and counterculture event. Now, Gas was here a little while ago, as we all know.
Yep.
And that was off the chain.
It
Love
was.
Gas.
It was good.
And I am not going to get those guys here, but I can tell you, all those glass blowers you mentioned that play at this game
Yeah.
already told me they want to come hang out with
Well,
another long list of my friends, you know, from the old hot breath days. I've been making phone calls.
Oh,
So when I say Champs is going to bring one of the hottest lineups and one of the best chances for people to drop collections and do crazy shit all right before Art Basel, which is also here in Florida.
Oh, wow.
So
nice.
we're gonna light Florida up for a full month, because we're gonna start October 31st. That's our setup day. We're gonna have a big Halloween party here in Daytona. Then 3 days of show, and then I know we got Coil coming into Orlando Glass Union to do a show, and then everyone's slowly coming in that month and filling in from the time we start to do Art Basel, because we got a lot of guys that are really getting into the high-end art scene.
Very
So
cool.
we're gonna get them all here first. They're gonna do some work here for charity. We got solo stations, we got collaboration stations, demo stations. We're gonna fill all of them. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna have more glass blowing going than we do at any show, and it's all gonna be for fun and charity instead of all being competition, everyone trying to beat everyone. It's legit. We're gonna do it for fun and enjoyment and give to a charity, and we chose a charity, Art for the Aging. We thought that would be something that we can all get behind, because we're all getting older and we all like art.
Kevin's like, because somebody needs to take care of me soon and I want to do some art.
Sure. Yeah. All right, the homies in the chat have already started a gambling poll on who's going to get the most money for charity, though, so it is a competition in a sense.
I mean,
no, I'm just playing. Just playing.
I could definitely see some wagers going down.
Yeah.
They'll probably be betting on one of our other events there, because we're calling it the Glass Bash.
Okay, Glass Bash in Florida. Fuck yeah.
And that's like a party, but it's also like taking two glass cars and smashing them together in a joust.
Okay, how so?
So we're going to do an event with RC cars. We're going to give them one lane, 2 cars, and they go straight head to head. Whoever takes the least amount of damage wins.
Nice. We got a little preview of that. This champ show.
Yeah, I think Carrie sent those videos. Are they one of the first ones you sent, Carrie?
They are, yeah.
Okay, I only downloaded the first 4. I was so busy editing. Very good. And I did want to interject briefly. Fucking, I'm out here repping for the Gas homies right now. So I did want to say, man, Gas will be there in spirit, and you know we have a good relationship, and if there's some heat there, you know that I can have the opportunity to share with them, there I think we could probably make that happen too. So
there's always I think anybody that's down in that area is going to be totally down to make it.
They might not have a. You know, it might not be a directly related thing or whatever, but yeah, man, we're always there bringing the love for the Glass Art Society, and happy to help kind of spread this type of thing that we do in our world. These seriously, we have just so many amazing events and amazing people involved, and it's something that we have to offer to the wider glass world, and I think they're really tuning into that and now, and they're like, and actually. I want to talk more about this, Kevin, if there's any more details we need to know. But other than that, it's like mark your calendars, dog.
Yeah.
Are we good? Are you good? Is there more?
Yeah. Oh, hold
All right.
on. Yes, I do.
I'm rushing it.
Sorry, I got.
No, I was excited about that MGP thing because that's
Yeah.
like fully associated with the Glass Art Society. It was a
Right?
beautiful segue. So we could talk about that in a second, though.
All right, so I'll finish up because I do want to get to this, and I do also want to remind everyone about we do have our regular summer games coming up July 26th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So
Yeah,
that's going to be
I
your
was gonna
big summer
say,
games.
Victoria said there's still room. If you guys want to compete, get in touch. Right?
Yeah, so that's our direct right now. So everyone go to the website, sign up, get on. You're going to get to the winners all get a free booth down in our Florida show. They're all going to go to the Masters. And this Masters is going to have some of the real Masters in it to compete against. So it's the heat's coming. We're doing some changes and things. And I really think this summer and leading into next year, you're going to see a lot of really, really good glass blowers coming back to the stage at Champs and really showing you what it's like to be successful and work from being just back in the day, little guy like a lot of you guys out there, to big stars as they are now like Eusheen. So
hell yeah, very good,
cool,
this... man. Yeah, I didn't want to rush you there. I'm sorry, man. I was just so excited to tell the homies that the dates are locked in for the Michigan Glass Project. And like I was saying, the Glass Art Society conference is happening at the same time. So they're like all linked in this time. It's not going to be like this year. And it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. But this year, the DFO and the Gas Conference were at the same time, and they were so close, and it just felt like a missed opportunity. And I understand that everybody just got in touch too late, kind of thing. Not to talk behind the scenes stuff that I need to not talk about or whatever. But I understand it was just too late to make it happen. But this time, this one is going to be really integrated. Mark your calendars, dog. This is going to be amazing. We've talked about the Michigan Glass Project. We've had Drew with us, Drew Cups, to talk about this and the amazing thing that they do for Art Road, I believe it's called. It puts art back into schools. It's an amazing thing they've done. They've generated a tremendous amount of money for it, and it's one of these community things that we should definitely all support. And mark that shit on your calendar. And then when you got your calendar up, make sure you mark that shit right after Halloween, because we're throwing down in Florida. It's going to be fucking tight. And then, guys, one more thing before we start the show. I threw a little sale up before I went to Champs. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it live again for 24 hours. Since we're all here tonight celebrating this amazing competition in Chicago that Champs put on. Man, I'm so lucky to be involved with all these different events in our industry. I feel so blessed. And yeah, man. So guys, my website, my store is in the video description, but it's MikeMasonDesign.com. This picture's actually a bit old now. There's some fresh canes in there that I just put up. Some of them are really cool. Yeah, man. So anyways, that's just something for you guys who tuned into the show. I didn't post this anywhere else. It's just if you're tuning in now and catching this, then know that you can use that code. Take 25% off for being part of this amazing community. And it's so many of you guys were tuned in when Carrie was live during the event. This shit was awesome. I just want to take a second to say I appreciate you guys, whether you take advantage of a coupon code or not. It's so much of why we get to watch what we get to watch now, this amazing thing, is because this awesome community has grown around this work and really propelled me to do this process documentation and to just keep going hard in the paint. And it's just amazing the doors that have opened, and that's all because of you guys out there who have been part of this amazing community and made it a party when we're live and been in good spirits in our social group. And fuck yes, I really appreciate all y'all out there. Y'all represent love to me. That's the most succinct way I can say it, and I really appreciate you guys. Let's pop this party off. Hell yeah. And then there are some other dogs who actually pitch in, and some of you guys out there on the Torch Pass thing, I really appreciate it. They, the doors are open, and I'm so honored and blessed to be in that position. And, to walk through them, it does involve plane tickets and hotels or food or this or that or tanks of gas. One way or another, it costs actually a lot of money to do this, and there's just a million little expenses. I don't want to get into all that. I just want to say thanks to these sponsors who pitch in, Champs included, to help me get to all of these shows and film amazing things for you guys and help us have this dank party and just celebrate glass. And I feel like if there is a glass god, he's smiling on us, because I work very hard to make this all happen. And at these events, Carrie too, we break our backs to film all day. Truth be told, guys, I shouldn't even say this, but like honestly, it's harder than working the torch. It's harder than pulling a giant millie all day. It's just, we work very hard to make this happen, but we couldn't do it without you guys and without these sponsors pitching in. So, man of the hour here, Eusheen. Pretty much everything in this piece was lip wrapped. So I thought we'd start out with that. I think this prep piece may have already been done, or they did it while we were filming the other amazing piece that was being made. But right out the gate, the homie is sharing his 2022 lip wrapping technique. Using those thin stringers. I was like, oh damn, my man, keeping it thin. But he's used to doing these cellos with very thin stringers and all that. And here's this methodology, guys. I talk about it on the show. I was actually just teaching Carrie to do this the exact same way. It's just this cooking that lip wrap in while you're rolling it against the marver and pushing it in. And then I'll also maybe push it out from the inside against the marver. And in repeating those two steps, you just distribute that glass out in a very clean way. And so this, guys, is it. Like, if you didn't see the thumbnail or whatever, essentially this is a faceted marble, incredible looking fumey firework thing. I don't know what to call it. It's fucking incredible. You'll see it in detail later. But it's basically encapsulated into a hollow sphere, and the whole like first third of it is that reversal. So here he's actually making like the hollow sphere that the faceted marble is gonna live in afterwards. So here, just some really clean and commo work. One thing that I definitely noticed is that my man keeps it cold on the kind of clear side and a little hotter on the other side. Kind of whichever one he wants to kind of keep cleaner, sort of thing. Just pay attention to those the heat setup on. You'll see this a number of times. Even on blow tubes, it's like he's got the piece a little hotter and then puts the blow tube on a little cold and then works it in. And I think it's just a matter of cleanliness and getting that stick perfect, and then knowing that the clear is just going to want to flow into the hotter piece, sort of thing, because the clear is going to be the less dense and just happy to move sort of vibe, I guess. It's also possible that he wants it a more clean setup if he breaks it off, but I don't think so, because I'd kind of want to do that the other way around. I'd want the clear hotter and the piece that it's going to stick to be less hot, so that in the event it does come off, that's the one that's gonna, the hotter piece will usually be the one that's like, oh, peace, all right, I'm out. Doesn't want to touch that colder piece. It's like, oh, I'm not getting with you, dog, you're too cold, sort of thing. But yeah, and yeah, so he's just gonna blow this out now into the sphere. Like I said, the reversal is gonna form about a third of it. And man, Yush is, the dude's fucking awesome, man. It's like he's just known as like the nicest dude in the game or whatever. and I have yet to find a drop of evidence to dispute that kind of thing. He really is, man. He's that fucking dude, you know? One of those, like, don't meet your heroes is the saying or something, but, like, no, you should meet Yush. He's a really nice guy. Like, he really is. Like, he lives up to the hype or whatever. And then he's also just, it's such a pleasure to watch him work. He's just clean, and it's just a pleasure. Everything about this is dank. I actually enjoyed editing this today. I think Carrie can vouch for this. It was like the most pleasurable day. Usually I'm always like, today I was just like, oh, this is so dope. I was just hyped the whole day while I was putting this together. And I just can't say enough about what a cool cat this is. And he's always been so nice to us.
I can definitely vouch for that. It's one of the funny things that happened in my life is I left Athens, Georgia, and not many people know that Yush lived in Athens, Georgia for a little while. He literally moved in the week I moved out.
Oh, wow.
So that part was upsetting. But outside of that, you know, he's always been really nice. He's always been an exceptional artist. His color choices, always on point.
Yeah. What a great guy.
I love really that they had these jerseys made for their team.
Right. Let's touch on the jerseys. They were made by Made is the company. Made. I think they're out of Chicago, perhaps. Like, but yeah, look them up. Just type Made Chicago, I think, and you'll find their company. And I think Eusheen or somebody had the idea for it and asked him to make these jerseys, and boom, he showed up with these absolutely awesome. I mean, there's a part of the audience that might not recognize them, and then there's a part of the audience that's like my age, you know, like I'll be 42 this year. And man, if you were a part of when like the Dream Team with Jordan and like all the most like iconic NBA stars of like my generation at least just went out and completely obliterated the rest of the world in basketball. Fucking, you know, this shit was everywhere. I had like if you ate enough cornflakes, you could send in for like a Tyvek jacket that they would send you with the Dream Team on it. Like, this like anyway. So it's very nostalgic. It has this. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh fuck yes, this is great. And yeah, so I don't know whose idea it was. If they just wanted jerseys and the Made homie came up with it, or if they had the idea, but kudos, hats off to that shit. That was, those are too good.
If you like that, you'll love the new hat we're gonna launch in Vegas for Champs too.
Oh shit! Okay, okay, yeah, that's something I wanted to tell you, man. It was probably more a private conversation, but it's just like we need more Champs merchandise. We need like sick posters that can hang up on the wall and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Got some coming. All of that.
All right, excellent.
We'll hopefully by Masters next year we'll have an actual merch booth at Champs.
Right on.
I think that's an awesome idea.
Some different cool shit that we've never really offered. Some will be the same shit that we give away that people can purchase if they don't get the giveaway.
Sure.
Which I don't know why we never did before, but
it's all good. It's not like y'all have been remiss or anything. There's always been sick hats. I mean, I remember them Champ sunglasses. Right. Like, there's always been awesome stuff. I was just thinking more like, yeah, like merch booth. I want the posters, baby. I love having like these things around my place. You can see some of them in the background. You know, and then on the other side I've got like framed things from Stoked, and you know, and like I love having things framed up from all these glass things that are important to me and have, you know, like have had an outsized role in my life would be the right way to put it. So yeah, man, that would be cool. And some of those covers for the Champs magazine are like extra sick too, like so that they really do deserve.
That's a whole other fun thing we're gonna do, and I'm thinking about doing it in Florida too, is having. So all of the artwork that Sean Dietrich's done for me, he's my most recent artist, is actually most of it's done on canvas. So all of those things are actual pieces of either a paper illustration or a canvas that he's actually painted. So we're going to get them all together and sell them all for charity at some point. Well, not all of them, because I'm gonna keep a couple. But
Yeah, we're gonna see him on the back wall here in the next time you join us or whatever. Yeah,
it's hard to find space through all the skateboards, but let me see.
Yeah, right. And anyways, not to get away from the glass too much, but there's like, man, awesome example of tipping off that reversal. You guys saw it there. I was noticing that when I was editing it. I was like, oh man, yeah, we got good shot of that. Yeah, to close that off was really clean, and then yeah, just homie making a bubble. Sometimes the most simple things are kind of the most cool to see somebody like this do, though, you know? Because it's an example is like solid. You know what I mean? And there's examples you see and it's like, all right, but then you've got like the gold standard or whatever, and it's like, fuck yeah, man, blow bubbles all day, dude. I'll watch you do that shit, no problem. And anyways, here he's making sure to get that punny really centered. And also something you'll notice, guys, is that often as the piece comes out and as he works, he shifts over. He's got some taffy rollers over there on the side, and that's a form of tooling roller, if you're not familiar, made by Taffy. The Taffy the Gray is what he goes by. And those rollers are a really nice design that he's kind of made to for his style of working, essentially. He's got this method he calls the crawl, and it allows him to almost work like a soft glass bench and continuously rotate. It's a really cool piece of kit, but Eusheen is using them essentially as like a tooling roller. So any type of roller with the straight, some people just make them with skateboard wheels, but anything that will allow you to put your blow tube down and roll on it and kind of check it to see how straight your piece is. And he's essentially working lathe straight. I believe that this piece was constructed on the lathe back at Everdream Studios. And they showed up. When you see the piece come out, it's essentially as it was when they arrived. Most of the construction had already been done, except for these attachments and the joint and the plumbing. And I'll hype this now. We actually have a whole second show coming with where usually takes like an hour forming this incredibly sick joint with like encalmo sections, the lip wraps, the thing, pushing out another section for like the like it looks like it's like an encalmo essentially on the top of the joint. It's an incredibly exquisitely formed joint essentially. I was gonna run it tonight and then I put it in and it was like an hour of footage. I was like, holy shit. But it's an amazing joint. Like every step is just so proper. And then there's all these other parts, like how it actually gets put into the piece and all that. So we'll do a second show. That'll be another like hour and a half of amazing footage. Here, check this out, guys. The homie, he used like a little V blade that's mounted on the back of the torch, and it's a magnet one, so we can take it off. He used it another time on the bench. But he kind of set up this like a snapped hole, like it's like what you might see a Venetian style worker use a diamond shear to create. You can use any type of V blade to do this. I mean, if in a pinch you can use a pair of scissors, but it's creating a constriction that has like a stress line and then snapping it, so you get this really clean opening. And he's using tweezer jacks now to open this piece. And he's opening it like wide, almost like a shitty foot or something. You know what I mean? Like if somebody made a foot like this, you'd be like, "Oh man, you got to keep going, dog." But what he's doing is opening this bubble plenty wide so that he can insert the marble, and then you'll see he closes it back down and uses another piece to attach there, and that'll be later. But for now, he's opening it up in a clean way with a nice wide lip so that he can add that marble. And what? Bonus secret demo, my dogs, with fucking N8. Then, yo, we had such a blast talking with this guy and kicking it. Man, huge shout outs to Nate Myers, man. Really nice guy. What he's making here, dogs, not the craziest thing, but he's making what they call the boat. And it's essentially a dish on a handle because with these really nice faceted pieces or any type of attachment, millies, anything like that. You don't necessarily just want to throw it in the kiln, you know, and get it all kiln dusty and have to deal with that shit and run the risk of leaving a little extra that you didn't. All that, fuck all that. The boat goes in the kiln and is a piece of glass that holds the glass. So it's like, man, it's just giving your attachments a sweet fucking boat ride. And that's what the homie's about to make. And yeah, we really did have a blast kicking it with this cat, telling fun stories. I know some of y'all were on the live stream getting to hear this stuff. And
yeah, if you guys get a chance, the live stream
Yeah.
is full of all sorts of fun.
right, we really did just have a great time talking with this homie. And then like I just have this like nostalgic connection to the duo. This is a team effort here, but WJC didn't show up till the last day. He had flight issues or something. So it was like Team N8 and Eusheen for like most of it. And I have like a bit of a nostalgic connection to that because they were teaching together. Like Nate was Yush's teaching assistant at Corning or something when we were there streaming. And we got to share some really cool stuff that Yush did on the floor at the Corning Amphitheater. I understand a lot of you guys just wake up and that shit is auto-playing. So you get to hear my sweet voice or whatever. People have told me this. I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. And yeah, the homies in the chat are busting it out. So I think we'll tell the story. They had made a boat for somebody. And instead of making this nice, clean, normal dish, they made one that had like a penis handle and like a nutsack dish. And instead of the boat, it was called the scrote. And yeah, man, I felt pretty proud that we got Yush telling a dirty story. He's like Mr. Rogers, you know, in the glass game or something. I'm just playing. He's just like that nice though, that like, you know what I mean? You can only
He was all
compare him
worried
to-
he didn't want to offend anybody. I was
I
like,
know,
"Come
right?
on,
Yeah,
everybody
it's like,
wants to
I don't-
hear this. You can't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
clam up
It's-
because I come over."
It's so easy to offend these days, and it happens, and you know it's happened not really to even to me directly, but in our community, some people I really dig. You know, some things just haven't hit right, and we're not perfect. We do our best, and if you tell us something is not hitting right, we're responsive to that. So, but yeah, no, I totally understand why the nicest man in glass doesn't want to offend with the nutsack dish story, but we're all adults here. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, he essentially condensed that section of glass, and now he's kind of pushed it into this nice like shape, you know, almost like a little cup. I mean, it's a dish. And flattening that bottom, and then he's going to open it up. And it's not the craziest thing, but I thought you guys might dig this because the boat is kind of an important part of the process here. And it's a great opportunity to tell you guys the scrote story. So I had a feeling that would come up. If they didn't bust us in chat, we might have just kept it on the cutting room floor. But anyways, here the homie's going to flame cut this. So just really keeping it nice, tight in one spot. If you look at the left punny, it's like he's almost like a lathe over there. And then one thing to note is that he kind of pulls out a little bit as it gets thin, you know, because that, like, if it happens too fast, it'll just be too much thick material there. So he kind of walks it out and keeps going, and that allows it to really, really thin out, and you end up with very little extra material there. So yeah, just condensing in that, give it that little paddle back. When you've got that heat that's kind of in there still, and it's a little bit back from the lip, that's a great time to hit it with that paddle, because if you just heat the lip and paddle, it's just gonna like squish it into like that area of the lip. Whereas if you've got that extra heat kind of already pre-built in because it was just opened, and then you've got it, he's got a nice big flame going here, so you know it's heated a little bit back. That's the time to paddle it, because that glass that you're moving around, which shouldn't be too much, but it's a little bit, and that way it's got somewhere to go if it's heated a little bit further back. If it's just on that lip, that glass, it'll just push in. You complicate your problem. And yeah, the boat has been opened. She's looking seaworthy. Now he's going to add a handle. And I don't think he's really worried about this thing getting, anything weird. He's just mainly concerned about this having a nice seal, so we got them both really hot. Pushed it in there, pulled back a little bit, got it nice and centered. And boom, we got a boat. Bam.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's some nice cold sealery. If that had been me, it'd have been like, sorry, Yush, I knocked the bottom of the dish out. I gotta make another.
If you haven't done that once,
yeah,
you're not doing it right.
Yeah, just cooking that in. Doesn't gotta be, lab perfect, but just nice bottom there. And here it is. There it is in use. So those things just came out of the kiln, and he's got a couple of them in there, because there's 2 marbles on there. And just getting it hot enough to take that cold seal. Bam.
Very nice.
And then here, this is the Mad Hatter Bunsen. I actually scooped one of these because I watched these guys. Hoobs had one, and Yush. And I watched Yush use it extensively, as will you guys now over the next hour or so. He's got these tweezers that have what, I don't know what that material is. It's like the spark plug boot looking material. I don't think that mattered. He didn't really care. It just needed to come off,
Was this where the lights go out?
No, I don't think I caught that. Or it's not in this footage, at least.
I know it was when he was putting one of these in.
Ooh.
And they didn't go all the way, just 50%.
Yeah, this is when, we were later than they were open or whatever. Right. Not this time now, but what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, no, the first night is the night that we didn't catch it in time, and the second night it went off at 8. It went down.
All right.
But the first night it went at 6:30. He
was
doing just sliding it in.
Yeah, the fire people were real cool about it, but the light people, we didn't know where the fuck to talk to them, or whatever kind of thing.
They're all on a schedule.
Yeah, no doubt. It was nice that they let everybody work a little later. It was good. All right, so yeah, getting that piece nice and hot. Plunging it in. So he heated that as much as he could, but as you guys can imagine, it's not probably the most perfect seal. But now this thing is wide enough that he's going to sneak in there with a hand torch. And one thing that I noticed, maybe he just used somebody else's hand torch at that moment or something, but it's most of the time he's using a hand torch, it's got it's got that tip on it that he's got right there. I think he grabs another though. See, he grabs a different one that has the number 7 or something, a really small tip. So he can get right in there. So, when you guys buy your hand torch, and it comes with, 6 of these things, or 3 of them, or 5 of them, whatever, and you throw them in a bag or something because you bought that nice blast shield tip or the Hornet or whatever, Yeah, just like don't sleep on those. That number 7 tip is actually not bad to start with out the gate, and for moments like this where you want to sneak in, like they're actually pretty fucking useful. So just something to keep in mind. You know, a lot of people just sneak those away and never ever use them again. The homie clearly had the other hand torch out though, and he was like, "No, let's get that other tip." So just something to notice there, and they all generally come with that tip and a few others. Some of them are super tiny. You can do like very intricate seals, like on if you get into that kind of work. Yeah, just getting right into that and just drilling that seal. And it looks like he's just doing it parts at a time, so it's not wonking around in there. They call it quartering the seal or whatever, because you only do about a quarter of it at a time. And the other parts of it, in theory, are cold enough to keep it braced. Probably puts that reversal there because it's a gangster seal, but no, I'm just playing. But it looks like something got in there. Yeah, so it just took a moment there, let it cool down. Now going in on another quarter or whatever he feels comfortable with. And that Smith looks like it's seen some use. It's probably because it's popped in and out of a holder like 8,000 times. And yeah, that marble, guys, like this technique is neat. You know, it's like a fume comb almost, but it has like a bunch of like these fumey tendrils.
The implosion on it.
Yeah, it does look like something has been imploded in a really fumey way.
Yeah. I think that's what you get when you do a really full deep implosion on honeycombs.
Okay. All right, and now that bad boy is sealed in there, and he's going to close this thing on down enough to where you can get this other handle on it, a hollow handle on it, and kind of pull it down and begin the process of turning it back into a marble, a hollow marble, or a sphere, as it were. English is actually my second language, guys. No, I'm just playing.
Is it really?
No.
You know, I've just been doing more public speaking lately, so you know, I totally can understand not speaking English properly.
It happens, man.
Yep.
This is so cool to watch.
So yeah, closing that on down, and he's gonna get it not all the way closed, but enough that he can get this other handle on there. Here, there's the other handle boy coming out, and now he'll be able to kind of pull that down with some control, and puff it back out, and distribute the material, and get it back to the zone.
You couldn't have made it any more perfect size.
Yeah, I mean, this is something you'll notice, like they're either already perfect, or if they're not, he'll jump in and widen one up,
Right.
because it's just so important to have those holes the right size. Don't get me wrong, you can always kind of tag one side and pull it down a little bit, if you're off, but you're just complicating your work. It reminds me of something I've talked about on the show before. It's something I learned from Mike Nan, Merge Scientific, an absolutely incredible scientific glass worker. He taught us, when I learned with him, he taught me how to use a lathe and a lot of seal stuff. He taught us his methodology called 40-40-20. And the idea is that, like, it's a thing about how much work you put into each step. And the theoretical balance is that the first, like, 40% of your work is how the seal is prepped. Is the wall weight even where the seal is? Are the holes the same size? Are they flush? Is there like a little nub of material poking out? That sort of shit. If you've done all of your job right in the first step, then you've nailed the 40, right? And then you move into the next step, and that's kind of the initial seal, like where you get them both to the same heat, or the ideal heat that you want to make the seal, and actually get them tagged and then start working the seal in. That's your next 40% of your work. So, like, the idea here, though, is that if you botch one of these steps, the math transfers to the next step. So if in the first step, let's say your holes weren't the same size, man, you only did 30, dog. Now your next step, now you've got to do like 50% of the work when you do that initial seal, because just what I was mentioning before, like, if one hole is bigger than the other, you've got to, like, tag one side and kind of pull it down and drag the glass around. And I mean, it's totally doable. You've just created more work in the next step. And the idea here, really, with the last step being only 20%, is that if you've done all of the setup right and you've done a good job with the initial tag and the initial, tagging to the seal and getting that started, then you should only have like 20% of your work remaining, going in with that hand torch and cooking them, doing the last little bit of cleanup. And if you fucked up either of those prior steps, then yeah, you're going to spend a lot more time with that hand torch or whatever, cooking that seal in or cleaning it up and trying to fix whatever material was wonky or whatever. Or you're just going to walk away with a seal that's less than 100%, So that was the idea that Mike and Nan taught. And I think it's apt. It's no teaching methodology is perfect, but I think it's pretty solid way of explaining how important it is to set these seals up right, and then that leads you to an easy tag and seal, and then that leads you to a quick cleanup. And yeah, just stuff to think about. So here now he's pulled that away, and he's kind of got himself an easy setup to get back to this nice sphere of glass with that marble in the bottom. And he's got some tricks to really make that a beautiful sphere as well. Oh geez, this doesn't look like it belongs in this part of the demo.
He's figuring out where he's going to put that too.
Oh, yeah, okay, no, it is. All right, never mind. All right, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't think he did that until after it was already a marble. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my god, did I leave something out? No, okay, cool. Sorry. It's freaking out, dogs.
So you were talking about Mike. He was doing a demo at homies in Baltimore, Virtues, and we ended up making a gigantic freaking lathe run popcorn machine.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where I learned with him, actually, at Virtue. Shout out to the dogs out there, Amy Glick and Matt Virtue. I learned a lot there. I took a number of really important classes.
Yeah, they're good people, good times. I did Flame Fest a few times with them.
Yep, same, yeah. Always a good time, man. Fucking barbecue. Woo! Yeah, good times out there. Doesn't seem like they do as many classes these days, but if you guys see an opportunity to learn out there, yeah, don't sleep on it.
Yeah, Amy stepped away to take care of her son, so I know that there's been some less action happening over there.
For sure. All right, so the homie popped a hole on the side, so he has air access here, and now he's kind of terminating this, and that's going to be like a, you know, a visible. You're looking through that, so he's terminating it almost like the same way he would a reversal, you know, where you want that super clean tip, no scuzz, no fuss. This needs to be like an optically pure end. And tipping that off and then not cooking that tip in right away, going back a little bit, letting that tip cook back. In this case, letting this hollow glass even back out. Now he can go in on the tip now that it's kind of cooked back in. And now he's cooking it down and he's using a soffietta. If you guys aren't familiar, it's like a hollow tube that you can use to blow into something. You can make one of these out of glass. It can be really simple, but he's got a nice one. Some of them are at angles, so if that's the way you prefer to work, you can kind of be more straightforward with it.
Super valuable tool in soft glass for sure. Less often used in boro, but lately with the bigger stuff and people that are more delicately able to use them, you can put too much air in there real quick.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It's one I hadn't seen, and then more recently I've seen a number of people using them more often.
Yeah, it just, like I said, has that problem, like you can put too much air in that you're not used to too quick.
Sure. It's like all the reversal guys use something, but, you know, it's like we're talking these big old soft glass style ones. It's a whole different game. I just putting a really nice even soaked heat into this guy, letting it just, you know, glass kind of wants to be round, but he's also about to use some trickery with a marble mold actually to help make this thing into a really essentially perfect sphere. It's close as it is, but no shame in the game, you know, of using a tool like this to just reinforce what the glass already wants to be. Here he goes, yeah. He uses the big side first and then that smaller side. Kind of cools the surface, you know, so it's not going to get like fucked up by the smaller one. And then it's just the right temperature to go in on that one that helps kind of where you got that smaller rim. Gives it something to ride on. And then here, man, like I said, everything was lip wrapped, including these connections. You can actually see it in the thumbnail if you look close. And this is interesting just to see because it's like he doesn't have a good angle on this at all. But he's not really phased. There he goes, just cooking that thing in carefully, reaming it out, cooking it in, reaming it out, until it's nicely sealed in. Grade A people watching at Champs, man. There's always a crazy crowd walking by, all sorts of amazing people.
See me go by doing stupid shit, I'm sure.
It happens, it happens. I'm not sure we got any of it in this demo, but Carrie's got some good pictures. And yeah, man, everything this dude does is just perfect or very close to it, and you can kind of see that ethic here as he took his time to really get that thing just perfectly sphered out. And here he's kind of warping the handle so that it has the best angle of approach for the seal. I'll show you two of the seals, but we've only got one of the marbles. I was filming the other team at certain times, but the other one, he curves it even further around. But this one, he's, basically he's just kind of letting gravity do the work here and getting that handle to where it's just the right angle so that he can seal this thing on. And look at this boss, man. He's got one thing in the Bunsen. He's over here opening the connection tube. And this is the piece. It was basically, this is how it arrived. Just like this, except for he'd been faceting it for like the whole first day. And so it already had this whole structure, and these holes that are connecting out were just kind of like a thin amount of glass. There's some footage a little later where he opens the second one, so you'll see that. But in this case, he just pulled it out earlier and like kind of wiped the hole open. And now he's going to put a little tiny post of this purple to match the rest of it. And that'll go in between the piece and the marble. The sphere. The marble sphere. And he's pretty much going to attach it and then pull it off and then kind of cook it in and open it back up. I'm simply thrilled to be sharing this type of stuff with you guys. This is just, man, really, really cool stuff that I hope will maybe help fill in some blanks for you guys as you push into different techniques and all these types of attachments. And a little bit later, we'll see him do the drain that goes between them and pull this section of tubing down and make it the curve and open each of the holes and sealing it in, and all these little details that are, a little bit. And I'm sure there's other ways to go about it, of course, but it's just nice to see somebody like this do it and kind of give you a kind of gold standard approach. I think the term I used earlier.
Everyone in chat is super thankful that you put this together for them to share and is loving your commentary as usual.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm just so happy to be in this position to help capture stuff like this, and so much cool stuff happens in our industry, and it really is an honor to be in the position to help share some of it. Yeah, at some of these times I just pulled the camera off the tripod because, to try and follow the action as best I could. But here, you can see him just going all the way around where it's connected to this existing seal there, just to make sure that glass is all, really almost, to the point where it's like it was a part of it to begin with, because there's like a ball inside, and then that's connected to the outer sphere. So there's already like a seal there, kind of a downstem type of weld. I assume it must have gone in with those posts, and then that seal was done, and then it may have been closed down just like we saw those marbles on the lathe or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. You're going to have to take a Eusheen class for that part.
We're all noticing the Mad Hatter Bunsen as well.
Oh yeah, I had to have one. It's all set up in the shop. It's working great. When I set it up and I just run it by itself, like if I cranked it to max, with like more pressure going to it than it even recommends, it'll blow itself out. But when I'm actually running the torch, it can't do that. It's like fucking perfect. I love it. And yeah, if you guys don't know about this Bunsen, you can adjust the ports. Like, they move around, so you can put them into like a line. You can make them wider. You can like put them in so the heat is more condensed. It's a pretty sweet little design. And here, yeah, man, he's essentially making that section he sealed into a little tube just by opening it up and reaming it out to essentially a tube diameter. And then even, pushing it out from the inside, so it's, really just shaping that little tube connection. Homie in the chat asked if I use a foot pedal on the Bunsen. I personally don't. I had one in the past, but it was a bad match for my enclosed bench or whatever, but I didn't have one then, and now I've just got like an adjustable valve on it. I understand they make them, though. That would be cool. I'm barely using it right now, but as I push back into functionals, it'll come in handy, so it's there. And it is nice. It saves me like blanks for the millis I've been doing lately and stuff, like the hollow frit ones. Really nice to bring that type of stuff up to a happy temperature without having to even use a kiln, especially on hot days in the shop. It's like we don't need one more kiln running until it really needs to be run.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really easy way to like get that going. All right, so here we go. Really, really complex seal here. Just making it look easy, but here's where like I'd crack it because sweat was dripping down the thing or something, Who knows? But yeah, this is one of those other handles I mentioned where it's like offset and it goes all the way around the marble so that he can approach it from that angle. And the other one is just the right angle so that he can hit that seal. Not an easy seal by any means, but having the right angle for your attachment to begin with, definitely going to make your life easier. And I think a lot of the theory here too is that it's much easier to clean up that punny connection on that reversal part than it would be to do it on that beautifully sphered out clear glass, that is just optically pure right now. He doesn't want to take a chance of like having a thing, and having it cook in a little weird and changing the wall weight, which would fuck with the optics. So doing it on that reversal, like he's an expert at cleaning that glass up. You'll see him do it on like the return drain between the spheres later. He's just so good at picking that glass away and leaving virtually nothing behind. But yeah, if he did it on the clear, I don't think it might be impossible even for superheroes like Eush to clean that up and not risk altering the optics. And then he's got a post set up there that is kind of used as the bridging place. It's going to be like a connection later for the mouthpiece, but for now it's just like a tipped off spot that makes a good place to seal random shit to.
We lost Kevin a bit ago. He was letting me know that he lost power and he's waiting for it to come back.
Oh goodness, I saw that he bounced, but I didn't know if he was going to come right back, so I didn't want to.
Presumably everybody's got their AC kicking in Florida.
Right, yeah. Welcome to third world America. Or whatever,
yeah.
Kind of thing. Was passing out to that Twilight Zone episode last night. The Midnight Sun. It's a pretty like prescient episode because it's about essentially the idea of the episode is that the Earth has gotten like tilted off its fucking orbit, so it's
Mm.
moving closer to the sun.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it's just getting ludicrously hotter by the day, and everybody's pretty much doomed. It's the whole concept, and yeah, they're like the power's running for like an hour a day or something, and then it just stops, and everybody goes crazy and dies. It's terrible. But then, spoiler alert, it's all a dream.
Oh,
And the Earth
phew.
is actually off its axis the other way, and it's like 10 degrees, and everybody's freezing to death. And Homegirl was just having a horrible dream where things were the opposite. In the Twilight Zone. Is it too early to spoil that? It was only made in like 1953.
Oh, but I hadn't seen it yet.
But yeah, man, just watch the homie taking care now that it's bridged up. Now he can be like, not cavalier, but he can really work that seal in and make this connection to the marble super happy. And yeah, here's where a blow tube is really critical because you can just spot heat and give it these little tiny puffs that help distribute material around. And once you've done enough of it, you can get pretty good at kind of returning material exactly where you want it to be. This might be one of these moments. Like I left some of these times in where he went back to the Bunsen just completely in full, just so you can see how long he likes to go back to this and keep things hot and happy. Because it really does extend the amount of time that he can be out of the kiln with a piece like this, with all these. This is some intricate shit, and I think the Bunsen is really helping give him this extra amount of time out of the kiln to do these attachments really properly.
There's the box that's WJC right behind it.
Yeah, like I said, WJC, man, he had some flight issues and this and that, but they whipped up an honorary WJC who was chilling over there with his cap on and
The cold working station.
yeah. And yeah, I think here's where he is opening up that other hole. Like I said, he just kind of left like a thin glaze of glass over it. Welcome back to Kevin Tankman. And yeah, now he's opening that hole there for the next one. And it's hard filming two amazing things at once. So yeah, we didn't get that first hole being open, but this is just what he did the first time. And we'll see him open that up and make sure that's a nice clean opening to do the exact same thing again. And yeah, there we go. That thing is back open and nice and happy. And he's going to add another little section of that perp. And then pull it down and cook it in and open it up and make it into a little tube again.
What was that purple color?
I was just thinking he was talking about custom making that. Do you remember what it was, Mike?
No.
It was something like over something.
Yeah, it was.
But you know what? He grabbed a stick of, do you remember what he grabbed a stick of when he ran out? Because
greasy rose gold.
Match? Yeah.
Yeah, I needed a little section there for something.
That was the closest that he found. I think he said he'd never used it before and he liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a custom pull with Dichro over it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it a week ago or whatever, but...
Right? That was a week ago, though.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh man, what was that color he was looking for? But yeah, same deal. Just work going all around that and making sure that it's really, really happy where it rejoins this existing seal, where that inner sphere is connected to the outer sphere. But you can think of this just the same as like a triple seal, you know, if you've added like a downstem or something and terminated it at the seal. Think of it just like that, you know, to where you got to open that seal up, remove some of that material, and then the next piece that goes on, you've really got to make sure it's happy with what already existed, so to speak. Seals on seals.
Boots and hose.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is. And he's going to ream that bad boy and make it into this nice tubular connection. Had to move quick to get that ream.
Good job. Good catch.
Thanks. And there we go. And again, he's doing this connection methodology where he's generally got one side hotter than the other. Might just be because that was the easier one to heat, but I think it's a matter of control. He doesn't want that glass on that connection to the marble moving around, right? The tube can move around a little bit because he's about to move the shit out of that. Move the shit out of it, but you know, it's going to be bridged and he's going to be distributing that glass. Whereas that little opening and connection on the marble sphere, that motherfucker's just how he wants it. So I would imagine that's why he might have heated that connection hotter there and then let that thing kind of tack on, and then he'll cook that all in. Less chance of mucking that beautiful lip wrapped section up and everything, right? If it's the one that's less hot. Man, this piece, good God.
Yeah. Are we going to see the function at the end too?
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah, there's always a contingent of folks who are unhappy if they don't get to see the finished product. So there is extensive finished product documentary with Eusheen himself function testing it.
Do you show him putting the last marble on? The faceted?
No, that'll be in the next episode.
Ah, yes, the hold your breath moment.
Yeah, Eush part 2.
Take a poll of everybody in the room. How do you feel?
Yeah, I was like,
Victoria
don't do that
screaming,
shit.
no!
Yeah. I was in the don't do that shit contingent because the truth of the matter is that if somebody's like, should I do it? And you say you should, and then it goes wrong, it's like, man, you know they're going to be secretly blaming you.
Damn, I shouldn't have listened to that Mike Mason dude.
Mike Mason, goddammit.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I was like, nope. But then he decided to push ahead and did that shit like a boss, so, you know, who's the fool?
Big sigh of relief, and everybody could breathe again when it was done.
I was just going with what Victoria said, so, you know. Shout outs to Victoria, though. Victoria Shaw, guys. She does so much to make these games a success, and she's one of these people I was mentioning who works so hard to make these events awesome. And then, like I said, man, I mean, I work my ass off, but at the same token, like I said, I show up and you know, I know people have already put in so much work before I get there, and she's one of those folks. And here's where he's kind of, the bridges were gone while I was filming the other guys, but here he's just very carefully tipping off the last remaining bits of it, which is kind of the important part. Just real careful, just heating it, coming away a little bit, pulling it out. See, that he's just tipping off the tiniest bits of glass very, very carefully. It's one of those things like, how do you do that? Like, very carefully. You know, whatever. And here he's cleaning that up. And here's where we're going to get into the drain, or whatever you want to call it, the connection tube that goes between the marble spheres. And this is like a really cool stuff here. He's going to pull this tubing down to the diameter he wants for the tube, and then bend it, and then we're going to see two different ways to open the ends, and how he sets it up to do the connection and then the connection. This is also cool to see. I really can't thank Eusheen enough for putting on such an amazing show, you know.
You say this was a tube?
Yeah, this is a tube. This is a hollow piece of glass that he's pulling into a tube. Really clean technique there. I mean, they call it like slipstream pulling or whatever, you know, just kind of heating that gather and continuing to pull out a tube at the same diameter from that mass. So yeah, there it is. He's got the amount of tube that he needs here. And that method, you know, it's like you could just pull it down, but you're going to end up with much more taper. Whereas he's kind of set a diameter, and that slipstream pull just keeps pulling it out to that diameter. So for this work, that was the way to go, you know. If you pull a long enough tube, those little ends don't matter, but he's showing a real like economy of movement and material here. So yeah, that was one of the ways you'll see him open that tube later, though, is with that bench-mounted V-blade, or his is magnetic, so sometimes he has it on his torch, actually. So the Herbert Arnold has that nice kind of landing zone in the back. There's a part where he's puffing into stuff, and it was just behind the torch, you know, and I was just laughing. I was like, man, the Herbert Arnold, you make a better fucking door than a window, or whatever kind of whatever the saying is.
Wait, is that That's WJC.
The man himself has arrived.
And there's Victoria, making sure
there's
everybody's
Victoria,
got everything they need.
Speak of the devil, there she is. Always well dressed. I mean, sometimes she's in pajamas and shit, but you know.
She's classing it up, I hear.
That's when it's cool to be in pajamas, guys.
I mean, I have been known to wear my robe to the show before, so.
Word. Yeah. Seems like a Jeff move. Like we got to get him like the Hef robe.
Yeah.
Kevin's like, no, I don't think so.
No. Just some new clothes, I hear.
God.
But you know, I appreciate when you have lucky things, like, you know.
Okay, all right.
When I was a single bachelor, I had my lucky underwear. I get it.
Okay.
But, you know,
Never took them off. They're lucky. I can't take them off to wash them. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude.
Not that kind of lucky.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get lucky, so I wear them tonight.
Oh, okay. They're the fancy ones, not the
gonna say,
ones.
like, as soon as he gets like an Armani suit, it's gonna rain on the first day of champs or something.
See, now you get it. Like,
I get it. Yeah, I get what you're putting down.
I mean, I played baseball, so there was a lucky pair of socks. You know,
Okay.
Those things mean things to people, and
Yeah.
It's the whole premise behind the first season of Brockmire, right?
Yeah. Me and Carrie did one good show together, and I was just like, sorry, we got to keep having sex. All right, and guys, if you took notice there, that was what I would call some nice dank soaked in heat before he did that bend. Using the calipers to check it because he's got a certain size he's looking for. And of course it's Eusheen, so he nailed it right out the gate. mortals might have to do a second bend or whatever it'll be, but
Second, third, fourth, fifth,
right.
7 pieces trying to get 2 the same.
Yeah, no. For me, it'd just be like, all right, we better just pull another one on down. Hope we get it on the second try. All right, and here he's using the Taglia tool, scoring tool. It's like the Jaws tool or whatever. It makes these really nice scores that if you do your job right, boom, there you go. And he tried to do it on the other side, but sometimes they just don't want to go in this, when you're doing it at this weird angle and all that. But those Jaws tools, man, I've used them for multi-board tubing, all sorts of stuff. And it's surprising how that little score will get the job done. And here he's going to put a handle on it so that he can kind of same thing, so he can approach the seal at the angle that's ideal. He tagged that on there and pulled it back a little bit. He doesn't want a big old ass glob of glass, right? He wants that to be a nice connection, but we don't want to be like, blah, just wonk it on there.
How's that again?
So need like a sound effects board,
Yeah.
Like a big splat sound and stuff,
Nice.
Yeah. Get my air horn.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this with the number pad.
Right. Pew, 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 pew. Just have like
All
that
right,
pad.
Jim.
Yeah. I could have that pad that they have for dogs and cats, It's like,
Yes.
treat.
Garage.
Yeah.
Well, when you hear it at the show, because one of our lovely clients, his name is Jim.
Okay.
He likes to hit the pow pow thing.
Oh, he just walks around chance blasting that shit?
Well, no, it's on his speaker in his booth.
Oh, okay.
But I snuck up at Chicago actually and did it to him on his own thing, and that's when he admitted that it sucked.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, that's not as cool as I thought it was."
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, sometimes that score wants to work, sometimes it doesn't. I think my man was just like, okay, you're too strong.
The integrity of this glass. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's even trying to hit it with a little heat to see if that'll stress it to crack. But I think after the initial, he flashed it and then it didn't go, so he was like, all right, whatever. I'll V-blade this thing.
Two good ways to make good clean cuts.
Yeah, no doubt. Certainly would have been quicker and easier if the Jaws had worked, but here we get to see another method, kind of thing. Bam, look at that. Now he's got to do a little more work on that one because it squeezes in a little bit, but no biggie. Yeah, it looked like it even left a little glass. But no problem.
Hammer tech, says Pogo.
Says what?
Pogo says hammer tech.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Pogo's in the house. Fuck yeah. Shout out, homie.
Rumor has it he'll be in Florida.
Oh, really?
I love it. Pogo, you should link the homies up to what you're doing with the Heady Pipe Society because that shit is cool. They need to know about it. Yeah, just wiping away that glass there. Making sure that's a nice, it's that same seal stuff we were talking about. That first 40% or whatever is getting these holes clean and not having extra glass there, not having any protruding glass, having those openings flush. If you do all of these steps, your life is a lot easier, and if you don't, you might get away with it. Might not. Whoever sells 7mm rod to Eush is laughing to the bank, not displaying, but one of those times where it's like, yeah, you can't really tungsten tweezer that shit away. You just got to use some 7mm and get that wipe mode going or whatever.
Get that. This is where I usually take too much off mode going.
Sure. Yeah, we've all been there.
Hey, I think this is the only shot of the whole team.
We got him at the end, hugging when the piece made it. All right, so this noodle is now, those openings are really nice. That's what we're talking about. I'll be right back, dogs.
Looks
man.
delicious.
Carrie's gone too. It's all you, Dankman.
It's all me, so I guess I should watch the stream where it's actually on time. So, you know, I don't know very much about it, but I do know that a lot of what he's doing right now takes some pretty precise getting things right before you put it together. I personally don't have that skill. I'm very, very like a bull in a china shop. Throw some lumpy ass shit together and make it look good in the end. With help from my friends. Which, you know, seems like this is what both of these teams did, is each team used the help of each other to make it work right. It looks like Carrie's back, so now it's just me and Carrie. Welcome back.
Whoa.
Mike left me on my own, so, you know.
Ah, we were both out of drinks at the same time, eh?
Yep, so there's a couple seconds of babbling me for everyone.
Hey, I love it. That's usually what I do too. So great that 88 people could join us right now. Thanks to everybody that's in chat, that's popping in and saying hey. Give that thumbs up button a hit if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. I'm sure if Eusheen pops through and sees all the views on this and only sees like 38 likes, he might get a little disappointed. He's a nice guy, so I'm sure he'll take it in stride and all, but you know, let's let him know how much we appreciate him.
Don't make Eusheen sad, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, if you don't want to miss the show, if you guys don't already follow the channel, hit that follow button or the subscribe button, and the notifications will let you know whenever we're getting ready to go live. So say there's a live stream coming up at an event that was perhaps unscheduled, you'll get a notification. You can join in the live party like a bunch of you who are currently in chat did.
Yep. Well said. So yeah, man, you guys saw what the homie did, man. It, you know, got those seals kind of tack worthy and then laid this noodle in place. And now he's just working these seals in. I mean, one bridges the other essentially. So this is one of those times where, you know, it doesn't really have to be bridged so long as one is cooling down while the other is getting hot. And yeah, just chasing these seals around with a hand torch, you know, just working on one little segment of it at a time and, you know, giving it these little puffs as you see the material kind of condensing in and then puffing it back out. And in doing this, you're going to go around and have this beautiful, clean weld, hopefully. Easier said than done, of course, but Eush makes it look easy at least.
I think I could make a rig like this. I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, my chillums turned out great, so obviously.
Oh, my first pipe looked great, and my second one didn't make it, so there's always that.
Right, yeah, there's that. Yeah, I taught Carrie to make a chillum the other day or a week ago or something, I forget, but yeah. Somebody, you know, when we posted it was like, oh, it took you long enough or whatever, but
Yeah, to corrupt her.
Yeah, but Carrie is quite corrupted already, and no, I'm just playing. But the truth is that Carrie works at a stained glass studio and teaches there, and then does the HVO thing, and then in her own private work does amazing mosaic and all kinds of stuff. She's like a glass master in 20 ways, and it's like, man, same thing with my daughter, man. Like, I didn't let her touch that torch until she really asked, you know? And more recently, Carrie's like, I want to do functionals. So it was time. And it's like, oh, baby, you got to make these pipes.
I mean,
okay, Mike, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, you gotta know when to not force your passion onto the others, especially if they're already embroiled in 15 other forms of it.
I just
But yeah,
gotta make time to get over there.
Yeah, no, I look forward to seeing where you go with it, and it's fun. You already do so much cool stuff. I'm incorporating some of the ideas and techniques into pipe stuff, and it'd be a lot of fun.
Truly, yeah, it's just another technique, and once you start to master that technique, then the ideas start to hit. Like you gotta know how to do something before you can make something in that style.
Yep. Here's another one of these moments where you see the homie just kind of very, very carefully wiping this glass away to the point that it looks like there was never a connection there to begin with. And now that that's gone, he's just, I think, going through and really just perfecting that tube connecting the piece. But yeah, pretty regularly returning to the Bunsen with a piece of this scale and complexity, and even smaller pieces, you're going to have a benefit from, kind of putting it back there for a moment, getting it all rewarmed and happy. And you got two theories there. You can let it get cold and, count on the properties of borosilicate, or you can kind of keep it hot. Yeah, homie in the chat just asked, how does the glass not shatter at such high temperatures? And some of that's like a history lesson. Like, they made borosilicate in the first place, like, I believe for like lights on railroad trains, like routes or whatever, and like they needed these light covers to like not shatter through the different temperature changes, like in the winter and such, I guess. And I think the borosilicate formula or whatever was the one that resisted these changes, and I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to like Google this or something, but yeah, it was used for railroad signal lanterns that wouldn't shatter with changes in the weather. So yeah, what I just told you guys was not bullshit.
It's close. Yeah.
Yeah. And
like
anyways,
the lanterns at the. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say we're back to the glass. Enough railroad talk. Whatever. Enough train talk. This is torch talk. No, but you guys can see the homie is pushing out the glass close, so that he can then seal this into the funnel, because they're all connected. And then back to the Bunsen, because it's been out for a while here. But I think he wants to complete all these seals before it goes back into the kiln. And there's Victoria, man. I think it's like #mom420 or something on Instagram. Follow her, because she goes live at these things too, and it's fun. So he got these open, both of these holes open, and now he's just kind of widening this one. Maybe if they were a little more material there, or a little closer, he could Jesus seal it, but that wasn't in the cards here. Or maybe he just never does it that way. Either way, both of these are open now, and he's getting these holes just kind of widened up, and he's then going to stringer in some extra glass to complete the seal and then cook it in. Almost like, some form of coil pot or something like that. But the idea here is that it's definitely rough when it's stringered in, but then once it all gets cooked in, it's just, it's almost like he'd laid in a tube or something. So see that he's just going all the way around on the top, and then he does the same on the bottom, and then he even touches up some on the sides. One side I think was good, the other side just took a little another touch. There's the bottom. And then adding a little touch on the side. And it looks pretty gangster right now, but once it all cooks in, it's going to be like fucking really happy. Have a really clean, even, it's just like a coil pot, it looks janky as shit when it's all coiled, but then it all cooks in together and it's like, oh shit, happy glass. So you can see a little, as he's cooking it in there, he's giving it these little puffs, and the material's rising up, and then he's letting it cook back down and rise back up, and in doing this, the material distributes and evens out, and you end up with this really nice looking connection. Oh, there's Carrie. Yeah, some of you guys got to see this live. Shout outs to everybody who joined us for that party, man. This is the new way. In the past, I've been hesitant to do this because the connection in venues has always been so sketchy, but it's 2022. If Carrie's with me, we're going to try and do it this way. We've got 2 phones between us, and then the other thing that I want to do at times when Carrie might be working the HVO booth, or can't join me, I've actually got like a mount for the top of my camera that holds a cell phone. It's the same thing she's using on this tripod mount. You can see it over there in the corner. But I'm going to mount that on the top of my camera and go live as well. So it'll just follow exactly what I'm filming as I move the camera around. So you guys will still be able to have this live party, it'll just not be the Corning documentation level quality whatever. But I think it's important that we get to have this party together, whether, now. This is fucking awesome. But it's also fucking amazing to be live contemporaneously during the event, even if it's not the tip-top 4K IMAX or whatever. And by the way, guys, we're broadcasting in 2K tonight, so if you've got the resolution, crank that shit up. I'm not quite ready for 4K yet. If I had fiber, I think I'd do it, but I don't. Comcast Business has me locked into a brutal contract. But it's also at my house right now. All the lines are already set up for that. It would be a bit of trouble to get fiber, so whatever. Anyways, we're in 2K. And guys, I did include the mouthpiecing just for a sense of completion. We're going to do another show here in the next maybe few weeks that'll have this incredible joint, some of the work on this incredible faceted piece. The joint itself, you guys, is like 3 different pieces of glass, and the way it was shaped and all that, it deserves its own show. Like, I was going to include it tonight, and when I threw it all in, it was like an hour of footage, plus all these other parts of the piece, like the mouthpiece going on, all that. So I was like, okay, we've definitely got like a legitimate second show here. But I did want to just show you guys it getting mouthpiece, just because that's really awesome to see, and just for a sense of like, oh yeah, we're done, kind of thing. But yeah, this was such a treat to see. I can't thank Eusheen and WJC and N8, and then we didn't see them tonight, but the Molten Art guys, man. Hoobs is always the nicest dude. Carsten, man, it was such an honor to meet him, and JOP, man, somebody I've respected his work for mad years. Same with Karsten. And then this is the first chance I've gotten to meet and talk to these guys. And I can't thank Champs enough for having us out and letting us be part of this family. You know, it's been so cool getting to cover these competitions over the years and getting to share this with the audience out there. The individual competition stuff is great, and then the masters getting to share so many artists throwing down at once. It's a real honor. I can't thank everybody at Champs enough.
And we thank
Kevin,
you, believe me.
thank you, dog. I really do appreciate it, man. Huge shout outs to Jeff, man, for supporting my work. It's not even just that they let me come out and be part of this and help share this. I mean, he supports my work no matter what I'm filming. It really is, man. Champs has been really good to me, and I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, like I said, we thank you, man. If without these glass blowers, without you doing their thing, like it's hard to get it out there. I mean, when even when I was doing Hot Breath, man, like it is dedication. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of travel, a lot of talking to people and getting to know people. And I did want to say one thing. If there was someone that was going to give Yush a run for money on one of the nicest guys, it'd be JOP, who was actually the team leader for Molten Art.
Yeah.
And like he also one of those guys that nice as can be all the time.
Wait, JOP was the team leader?
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was team captain.
That's funny because he was the one that was making all the grunt work prep.
yeah. He was a humble dude. And guys, look at this piece. Totally. Look at that joint. This is what I was talking about. It's got like this whole rainbow section in the top that's worked out so beautifully, and everything about it. And then these marbles with this like firework fume technique or whatever. They're fucking awesome. And this is one of those pieces you really do just have to kind of study in detail.
Oh, I spent a lot of hours already looking and trying to find the picture that doesn't have glare where I don't want it. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Look at this marble thing, man. This technique, like I said, it looks like a fume cone, but there's something else in the dots. Like there's like they're dotted with something that has fume in the middle or something to give this extruded effect. It's fucking awesome. And then here's this incredible faceted section. They called this piece the Rainbow Projector, and this is why. And I was laughing, man. I was like, man, I've never seen a section of rainbow tubing put in work harder, because they used a tiny, tiny section and just kind of spiraled it out. Yeah. And then it's all the lens and everything. And I'll show you guys a bit of how the lens came together and all that in the next show.
Well, and with the facets on that piece, it did actually project rainbows. Like it was casting rainbows from the light that was shooting down on it too.
Fucking dope. Incredible work here from WJC and some of those sections, and incredible construction from Eusheen. Look at how proud Eusheen looks. He's like a proud dad. He was just beaming positivity in this footage. And here he was trying it at different water levels, and what we noticed was that the inner tubes disappear in this one. Look at this. They just vanish when there's water in it. It's crazy. And then when you hit it, you can see the tubes again for a second. And look at the function on this thing, man. Just nothing coming up into the top marble at all. All of it's just contained with a little bit coming into the top marble, but I mean nothing's coming into the mouthpiece, I should say.
Yeah, and he was hitting it hard.
He was hitting it hard, yeah, to demonstrate. Yeah. Look at this though. Absolutely amazing piece. Again, huge shout outs to these guys and to Champs for letting us capture this and share this and have this beautiful time together tonight. I really
I got to hit it too. It had a really nice thick pull to it. It was real nice.
Look at that thing under the water. It had like a different look. Too cool. Hell yeah. Guys, thanks to these sponsors who make it possible for me to get to all of these shows. I really can't thank them enough. There's no way about it here. I'm not trying to make a big deal of it. It's just every one of these shows I still have to go into my pocket a bit, and the time away from my own work all of it. It's like, this isn't something where I'm making money, but these sponsors and events, you know, helping me cover, it all adds up to being able to do really what I feel is a proper documentation and really, you know, putting a positive spotlight on our industry. I just couldn't do it without these companies pitching in. Like I said, not out here making any money off of this, but there's just a huge financial wall in terms of getting to these events and the travel and Adobe software every month. There's a million little things that it costs to do this the way we're doing this, and I'm so honored and thrilled to do it. And I just need to take a moment to shout these homies out, because there's this financial wall that they helped me get over, and I'm happy to do the work. I really am. And I love what I get to do, and having a circle of friends that is, you know, worldwide, and that I get to see at all these things. It's awesome. It's just, it would be one of those things that I could only do so many times if I didn't have this support. So I really appreciate it. And any of you guys out there on the Patreon thing, on Torch Pass, pitching in, it all adds up to being able to do this. Anyways, even if you're not pitching in though, and you're just part of this audience and being a positive part of this community, that's the real reason we get to do this. So it's just a huge thanks all around. I just want to express how grateful I am to every little cog in this machine that allows me to do something that I'm truly passionate about. That's not a given in life. Like, I'm very, very fucking lucky. So thanks to all y'all out there. Thanks to Carrie and Kevin for joining us. And Kevin, thank you for your role in helping me get to cover this and do what we get to do here, man. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Oh, yeah, man. Whenever you want me on, you know how to get me.
That's what's up. That's what's
Word.
up. I really do appreciate that, man. Hell yeah. I tell you, man, Carrie did send me some fun videos. I want to share some of them because they're cool. And I think there was one of them that sounds like it's kind of like, because Kevin, you were telling us there's going to be like an RC thing at this. If you tuned in later, guys, fucking Kevin told us all about this amazing fucking after Halloween, so mark your calendars right after Halloween, fucking beach bash in Daytona. Amazing stuff. Kevin, you should just give him the whole fucking spiel again. Real talk.
I'll give him a quick one.
one. All right.
So October 31st, that's setup day. We're having a huge Halloween party on the beach.
All right.
And then we're going to have 2 days of awesome glass blowing, not as a main competition, more as networking, fun, collaborative stations, demo stations, solo stations. Like, we're bringing all of our glass equipment. We're going to have fun and make it different. End the year on something more fun. Give some money to Arts for the Aging. Have a big party in Daytona. And I'm lucky because I'm going to sleep in my own bed. You know, I don't have to stay at the hotel, although the hotel has a better view of the ocean than my house. It's gonna be fun, and you know, again, that's still down the road because the next thing up is in Las Vegas, and we're doing a glass car thing there too. Stooky, who I believe we're gonna see a video of his car in a second. They're doing another type thing in the lounge at Champs at Vegas. It's gonna be new and fun. So that's the other new car glass event.
All right, this was a show about use piece, but we can't go without showing y'all the Turpinator. This was the other piece. We've got amazing footage of this too.
The opal accents on this thing are amazing, and just the spinal parts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. All right, here we go. Look at this fucking thing, dogs. This is what y'all need to be making and coming out to this thing in Florida and then smashing the motherfuckers up.
And or Vegas. We're going to have a Vegas one too, so.
Oh, hell yeah. Good, good. I remember I saw some footage from back in the day, like I remember
We used
Blue
to do
Hair
death
Media or
rates.
something, man. Like, and they had a thing
Yeah.
like that, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is like, thank God somebody was here before me, kind of thing, you know.
Ryan, I
It's
think that
nice.
guy's name was Ryan. He was a good guy. He did a lot of taping
Cool.
back then.
That's what's up.
He was a good help. Not as productive as you guys are, but was a real good guy and was good to have around. And those first races were real fun. Hard to really find real winners, but super
Yeah.
fun watching people race around and smash shit together.
Yeah, they look like a real blast, man. And yeah, nah, it's just what I was speaking to before, man. And I love what I do. I genuinely the putting in the work in the filming and all of that, that's no big deal. It's just the support of a community and sponsors, and then people like you and events, you know, that open their arms and their hearts to what we're doing is what makes it all possible. And like I said, man, I feel very lucky to be in this position and to be able to keep running with this ball, you know, because life happens, man. All kinds of things happen, and my life hasn't been perfect. It's nothing to get into. It's just, you know, things happen, and it's easy to take your foot off the gas or whatever. Even there's been times where this channel hasn't been as productive as when I've been moving, you know, twice in a year or whatever, all that type of stuff. It's hard to stay on it, but man, oh man, what we've been able to accomplish here is something I'm genuinely proud of. And we are sitting on so much. There's so much that hasn't even been released yet. Oh, here we go. We got like the damage report or whatever.
Yeah, this is after the, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the background on some of the streams, you could see them running the RC car and setting up ramps.
Yeah. This will be your hard work, guys, if you after us. Yeah. But really, this was a tremendous time. I don't think we're gonna take forever reminiscing on these videos or whatever, but man, oh man, thank you again to everybody who joined us tonight. I really do appreciate you guys. It's made all of this possible, and it's made it possible for me to like live a dream. So I really do appreciate y'all out there, and we're just gonna keep keeping on. Let me send y'all off to the dogs. You're unpinned though. You're equals now in the
We're
goodbye.
equals now. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh. I was
Seriously
typing
though.
in the room.
Oh, we're
right on.
But seriously,
Well,
thanks you guys
you
for
could
joining
even
us.
say that.
Yeah, man, I really do appreciate both of you for joining me on this glassy ass journey. Carrie, you especially, the party you put on for the homies live during this thing. Some of y'all out there already saw so much more, but it's nice to be able to share it through my lens and give
Yeah,
y'all
for
a
sure.
taste of
Thanks.
something.
Thanks
Super
for
fun.
letting
Super
us
fun. Yeah, man.
yeah.
see what you got to see and putting all the work into editing that down, because everybody really liked seeing that, Mike. And yeah, thanks to everybody that joined the live stream to check out Champs. If you guys want to see more of what happened and want to hear the Scroat Boat story from Eusheen's lips,
Yeah.
there's like at least 16 hours of live footage from the show that you can go watch. Put it on in the background, hear the good stories. Nate was entertaining, JOP as well. Lots of good stories. You can see Kevin dancing around in the background. And...
Yeah, a lot of fun there. Oh yeah, guys, don't forget I got my Champs sale is live for like 24 hours just for show viewers. So if you go to my store, MikeMasonDesign.com, there's some dank milli in there for y'all. And then don't forget, add that shit to your calendar along with the fucking bash at the beach. Glass bash. Whatever. But that's, like I said, right after Halloween, guys. And it's in Florida, so it's going to be a gorgeous time. It's going to be a great chance to get away from the cold winds that will certainly be a-blowing. Exactly. And then, yeah, 2023, though, dogs. Michigan Glass Project. Don't forget about that shit. All right. We've said enough. I love all y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Peace.